likely, lad. Why do you care? Take it easy. Relax. Why do you care? Number 6, please. Why do you care?
I know your voice.
I have been here before. Why do you care?
You'll never know.
Number 6 is an anti-hero, much like those in the works of Hermann Hesse, Albert Camus, and Colin Wilson's Outsider. A man liberating himself from the forces that are limiting him.
He can't do as he likes.
He's an individual, and they're always trying.
What do you want?
Number 6?
I said, what do you want?
You are number 6?
That is the number of this place.
Like Henrik Ibsen's Brand, his mission is himself to bear his own cause to victory. And he believes and demonstrates that compromise is the very prince of lies.
I'm not for hire.
You turned in your badge?
And my gun.
What were your reasons?
My reasons.
He'll crack.
Perhaps one tiny piece at a time. I don't want a man of fragments.
He doesn't even bend a little.
That's why he'll break. It only needs one small thing. If he will answer one simple question, the rest will follow. Why did he resign?
As the series progresses, his paramount goal becomes maintaining his identity and individuality. The reasons for a person's resignation hardly justify the lengths to which each successive number 2 goes to in order to discover. It appears that what they are after is something far more subtle. With each episode, they seem less interested in the reason for his resignation and more interested in what they can make him do. They want his total cooperation, and number 6 knows this. They seek from him a compromise, no matter how small. For once he makes that first concession and betrayal of his morals and values at the behest of his captors, more inducements will follow in their turn, until finally he has forsaken himself totally. He will have lost all autonomy, and would be at the disposal of his masters, which is their ultimate goal. Tyranny, collectivism, and all manifestations of evil depend upon, to borrow Ayn Rand's words from her novel Atlas Shrugged, the sanction of the victim, and upon the compliance and support of men and women who, of necessity, must first have lost their own autonomy of mind and values, becoming part of the crowd and hence no threat. The primary theme is crystal clear from the very start of the series: man versus the state, individuality and autonomy versus conformity and regimentation.
The time of my birth is missing.
Well, there you are. Now let's bring it all up to date.
4:31 a.m., 19th of March, 1928. I've nothing to say. Is that clear? Absolutely nothing.
Now be reasonable, old boy. It's just a matter of time. Sooner or later you'll tell me. Sooner or later you'll want to. Let's make a deal. You cooperate. Tell us what we want to know, and this can be a very nice place. You may even be given a position of authority.
I will not make any deals with you. I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own.
Is it?
Yes, you won't hold me.
Number 6 is an anti-hero because of his ability to maintain his individuality. His individuality is what makes him heroic. Because he exhibits individualistic motives that may be considered suspicious or even selfish, he lacks the conventional characteristics of a hero. But rather, he is a kind of anti-hero frequently found in film noir. A dark hero who exemplifies the existential qualities of anguish, discord, complexity, and despair. Number 6 is a man who fights for his own truth and denies the reality constructed for him.
Interesting that he could separate fact from fantasy so quickly.
This reactionary drivel that you were on the point of sending out to our conscientious students. The freedom to learn, the liberty to make mistakes, old-fashioned slogans. You are an odd fellow, number 6, full of surprises.
Special delivery. Sign your number here, number 6.
It requires an active will to disbelieve what one sees, and an even greater will to accept the reverse.
Why were you brought here?
Night to night fight.
Well, that was a good move, wasn't it?
I know a better one.
Oh?
Away from this place.
Well, that's impossible.
But chessmen, not for me.
They told me there wasn't a hope.
I don't believe what they tell me. You're surprised?
Even as a child, there is something in your brain that is a puzzlement. I intend to discover it.
In the episode Once Upon a Time, number 2 subjects the prisoner to
degree absolute.
A battle of wills in an isolated, specially prepared and secured room underneath the village called the embryo, from which only one person is allowed to emerge after 1 week.
This is it. For better or worse. Who knows? 1 week. 1 teeny-weeny week, my boy. Neither of us can leave. Till death do us part.
Number 6 is hypnotized beforehand into regressing to the state of a child, and he relives portions of his life as they are suggested to him, all concerned principally with the questions of authority and obedience.
I am your father. Do I ever say anything that makes you want to hate me?
But it is not his full life he's reliving. There's no friends, no relationships, no fiancé, as we find out he had in a previous episode. It is rather a reworking of his life to mold him to the desires of number 2. However, even after he has been brainwashed, something within him, his self, refuses to identify with his number and reacts violently to number 2's repeated question, "Why did you resign?"
Alternating even numbers.
What? Test.
Alternating even numbers. Go.
2.
2.
4.
2, 4.
4.
6.
4. 4.
6.
2. 2. 4.
5. 6. 5. 6. 5. 2, 4, 6.
5. That's me.
2, 4, 6. That's you. 6. You are 6. A, B, C, D, E. Say them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
5.
6. 5. 6. 5. 6. 5. 6. 5. 6. 5. 6 and 1.
5.
6 and 1. 6 and
5.
1. 6.
5.
6 and 1.
5.
6 and 1. 6
5.
and 1. 6 and 1. Out does the other.
Pop goes the weasel.
Pop.
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 Pop. Pop. Pop. Pop. Pop.
Pop.
Pop. Pop.
Pop.
Pop.
Pop.
Pop. Pop. Protect.
Protect.
Protect. Pop.
Pop.
Pop. Protect.
Pop.
Protect other people.
Protect.
People don't protect.
Protect other pop.
Protect other
Pop.
people. Why?
Pop.
Why?
Why? Pop.
Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Pop?
Pop.
Why?
Goes the weasel.
Why? Why?
Half a pound of
Why?
That's the way the money is.
Why? Why?
Half a pound of
Why, Pop? Why, Pop? Why, Pop?
Pop.
Why?
Pop.
Why?
Pop. Pop.
He has no reason to, since he has temporarily lost all memory of the village. But his identity and the knowledge of what endangers it is so powerful that it forces its way through his conditioning without him even understanding why.
Come in. Take off your hat in my presence.
Sorry, sir.
You were talking in class.
No, sir.
You refused to admit it.
I wasn't, sir.
You know who was?
Yes, sir.
Who was it? This is the 9th day since the incident. You have been in my study every morning at this time, and you still refuse to cooperate. Today is your last chance. Wasn't you?
Yes, sir.
You know who it was?
Yes, sir.
Who was it? That is cowardice.
That's honor, sir.
We don't talk about such things.
You should teach it, sir.
You're a fool.
Yes, sir. Not a rat.
A rat.
Rat.
I'm a rat.
No, sir. I'm a fool. Not a rat.
You haven't got a price. You must have a reason.
Not almost the same thing. Excuse me.
Number 6 believes in honor, dignity, privacy.
Supposing I don't want any flowers.
Everybody has flowers for carnival tomorrow. Be seeing you.
A time for silence and contemplation, in fighting for what one holds dear, in self-discipline, charity, and goodwill, and in absolute truth.
They do the same job, for different reasons, yes. I see you still ever rate absolute truth.
What puzzled me, number 6, was the fact that you've given the group a title. Escape.
This piece, what does it represent to you?
A church door?
Right first time.
I think I see what he's getting at.
Yes, this other piece here, of the same general line, somewhat more abstract, as you'll notice, representing freedom or a barrier, depending how you look at it. The barrier's down, the door is open, you're free. Free to go, free to escape to this, the symbol to human aspirations. Knowledge, freedom, escape.
He is tough, determined, and deadly serious, ever vigilant and always active.
What's that number 6 doing? He's always walking. Irritating man. Doesn't he ever get tired?
Be seeing you.
No, I'll be seeing you.
He is a man of action, a man who prefers to be alone.
Training for the big break. Why not use the village gymnasium?
Perhaps I prefer privacy.
Now that could be taken as being antisocial.
Some setup.
Keeping it all to yourself, number 6?
Not at all the action of a public-minded citizen.
The committee wouldn't like that.
No, the committee certainly wouldn't.
He is also a seeker who thinks for himself, and the one man who asks questions.
How long have you been here?
Questions are a burden to others. Answers a prison for oneself.
What did you do to have yourself brought here?
Questions are a burden.
And answers a prison for oneself.
How? Don't do that.
What?
Inquire.
What's your number?
What?
Your number. What is it?
Be careful.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Quiet.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Can I help you?
I don't know. Can you?
Finding things a bit strange.
That is the trouble. I can't find anything at all.
What exactly are you looking for?
What are we all looking for?
Well, let's see now. That gentleman over there. What do you think he's doing?
Tearing up a book.
He's creating a fresh concept. Construction arises out of the ashes of destruction. And that woman?
standing on her head.
She's developing new perspective.
Really? Him?
He's asleep. One learns only when the mind wants to, not at set times.
Is that what your husband believes?
It's self-evident, surely. What's your subject?
What's yours?
Mine. Modern art.
Really? What do you think of this?
Not altogether flattering. So art's your subject, too?
No. Military history, generals and that kind of thing.
I'm afraid you may be wasting your time.
What a pity. I understood that your husband was quite an authority on the subject.
He may be, but I'm not.
Oh. Creation out of destruction. There is a question that the general cannot answer.
Impossible.
Allow me to ask it.
No.
Are you afraid?
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Professor. Thank you. With your permission.
Switch it off. What was the question?
It's insoluble. For man or machine.
What was it?
W-H-Y. Question mark.
Why?
Why?
You are free to go.
Free to go?
Anywhere.
Why?
You have been such an example to us.
Why?
You have convinced us of our mistakes.
Why?
You are pure, you know the way, show us.
Why?
Your revolt is good and honest. You are the only individual. We need you.
I see.
You do. You see all.
I'm an individual?
You are on your own.
I fail to see.
He places importance on ethnic and cultural identity. We cannot simply be citizens of the world. We are English, American, Irish, German, French, and so on. He is against the modern homogenization of the world, physically embodied in the village, which is rapidly making every place look exactly like the next. He is also an advocate of minimal governments and self-reliance, and favors limiting what science and technology can meddle with. He is a virtuous man, and acts accordingly not out of any sort of obligation, but out of his own benevolence. But he is by no means a pacifist, and can be cold and merciless if necessary.
59 seconds.
58 seconds.
I'm big.
57.
Oh, you're too.
56.
Yeah.
55.
Lad.
54.
God.
53.
You're for me. 52. 51. 50. 49. 48. Why? 47. Why? 46. Why resign? 45. Tell me. 44. 43. 42. 41. 40. I'll tell. 39. I'll tell. 38. Yes, still time. 37. Still time. 36. Still time. 35. Still time. Not too late.
For me?
For me.
You snivel and grovel.
I ask.
You crawl.
Yes, look.
To ask?
Yes, to ask.
Why? Ask on. Ask yourself.
In Hammer into Anvil, in particular, he sets out to psychologically destroy the sadistic and paranoid number 2 who was responsible for a female inmate's suicide.
I'll break the lot of you! You too! You're in this plot, aren't you? Oh, yes! Get out! Get out of this house!
Whereas in other episodes, he merely outwits each number 2 even when harassed and crossed. In this case, he relentlessly drives him to madness.
You destroyed. No. You've destroyed yourself. A character flaw. You were afraid of your masters.
If they succeed in killing you, what action would your people take?
Oh, well, they would punish those responsible for... What else would you expect them to do?
Punish everyone. A mass reprisal, a never-to-be-forgotten deterrent.
Number 6 is also the hero of the people in many episodes, such as the thwarting of a false flag assassination on number 2 in It's Your Funeral, which is intended to transform the village into an even more tightly managed police state. He shows that even though he is apart from them, he does care about the well-being of the villagers.
Some other way, then. Not by an act of murder.
Assassination!
Call it what you like. The important matter is that the entire village will be punished.
Maybe it is what they need to wake them up, to shake them out of their lethargy, to make them angry enough to fight.
Assuming they survive the punishment.
In the episode The Chimes of Big Ben, we learn that number 6 resigned his job as a secret agent for matters of principle.
But let's start at square one first, shall we? First, why did you resign?
It was a matter of conscience.
And as we find out later in Once Upon a Time, for peace of mind.
Why did you resign?
For peace.
For peace.
Yeah, let me out.
You resigned for peace?
Yes, let me out.
You're a fool.
For peace of mind.
What?
For peace of mind!
Why?
Because too many people know too much.
Never.
I know too much.
Tell me.
I know too much about you.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I know you.
Who am I?
You are an enemy.
I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Why did you resign?
You've been told.
Tell me again.
Yes. I know you.
You're smart.
In my mind, you're smart.
Why did you resign?
Yeah, you see?
Why did you resign?
You know who you are?
Who am
A fool.
What? Don't.
Yes.
No, don't.
Yes, an idiot.
It wasn't because he had problems with killing people, as was his requirement for a life in espionage. In living in harmony while under the influence of drugs, which cause him to hallucinate a tale of becoming the sheriff of a small town in the Wild West, number 6 is willing to kill the psychopathic kid who brutally assaults a saloon waitress. He also kills in the final episode, Fallout, but only because he has no other option left to him, and it is his last chance to escape. He will kill if necessary, but only on his own terms. He did not resign because he couldn't bring himself to kill. He did so because he could no longer, in good conscience, act and kill in the name of his government. His act of resignation was a rejection of his society.
Why did you resign?
I didn't accept. Why did you accept?
You resigned!
I rejected.
You accepted before you resigned!
I rejected.
Who? You. Why me?
You're big.
Not all.
Not all.
I'm big.
Humpty Dumpty.
All King's horses.
All the King's men.
That's right.
Couldn't put Humpty together again.
Slept well after your flight. I'll expect you for breakfast in 15 minutes.
Morning, number 12. Nice to see you again.
Miss, why do you call me number 12?
Well, that's what you were called when I last saw you.
Your job, number 12, will be to impersonate him. Take his sense of reality away.
Once he begins to doubt his own identity, he'll crack.
Some of the episodes deal very directly with what constitutes individuality, particularly the schizoid man.
I am number 6. I am number 6. Number 6! 6! 6! 6!
A doppelganger poses as number 6. Number 6 cannot prove who he is because aversion therapy has made him different.
Left-handed.
What he calls his self has been altered, and he is no longer able to engage in his former behavioral patterns. New ones are now in their place, to which number 6 adheres and conforms to unconsciously. In essence, he's given over to a new personality with only a memory of the old one. While the new number 6 is even more like the old. He even has a more idiosyncratic outfit. Thus, number 6 is left with nothing to submit, since his identity is clouded and a counterfeit is posing as him.
It's uncanny. Number 12 has caught the man's whole style.
In Haiti would say he has stolen his soul.
He's left to either continue as he is now or to purge himself, and he chooses the latter. Due to shock therapy, he was conditioned into becoming left-handed, and he reverses this by shocking his left hand, forcing him to revert to using the other. This is a variation of the traditional concept of fire and lightning as cleansing, enlivening agents. It is also notable that he shocks his left, or offending hand, which is representative of the false identity he seeks to rid himself of. After this, he recovers his ability to write with and use his right hand, and hence begins to recover his definition of self, his behavioral characteristics which identify him as number 6. At this point, the two number 6s are almost identical, making him a very real threat to the village, since he's indistinguishable and thus capable of true subversion. He also has a photograph of himself from the beginning of the episode with a wound on his hand, which he still has, which serves as proof that he is the real number 6. The point of this episode is that conditioning can train you to believe that almost anything is real, and can pose a very serious threat to one's selfhood. Unless you have a strong foundation to stand upon, or some useful clue to point out the way, it's likely that you won't be able to perceive the subtle and invisible techniques or methods, and will be unable to hold to reality.
Schizoid man. Schizoid man. Schizoid man. Schizoid man.
Ironically, however, Number 6 gives up his identity momentarily in order to fool Rover into abducting the fake Number 6, which confuses it, and it kills the fake Number 6 as a result. Number 6 is later apprehended when he tries to escape the village by passing himself off as his doppelganger, or in essence, pretends to be someone else. This point is later echoed in Do Not Forsake Me, O My Darling, in which Number 6's mind is transferred into another man's body. In this episode, only his powerful personality can convince his former fiancée that he is who he claims to be, and he succeeds in doing so.
Elections in this place?
Of course, we make our choice every 12 months. Every citizen has a choice. Are you going to run?
Like blazes, the first chance I get.
Number 6, like any dramatic hero, is not without flaws. In Free For All, Number 6 decides to run for office, believing that he can somehow change the village by becoming its leader.
What physically happens if I win?
You're the boss.
Number 1's the boss.
Falling victim immediately to an elaborate con game. His motives are later perverted and co-opted by his oppositional candidate, Number 2, through various means of conditioning.
Why did you wish to run for electoral office? That is a lie, but won't be held against you. Everything you think here is in the strictest confidence. That's better. Why did you run for office? Come. You thought that if you won and took over our village, that you would be able to control an organized breakout. Correct? Good. But this was a mistake, wasn't it? You're not being honest. You are on the side of the people, aren't you? You mustn't think only of yourself. You have a responsibility.
Until finally, he becomes a Manchurian candidate, delivering speeches which are identical to those of his opponent, praising the village, intoxicated with the promise of absolute power, and seeing himself transform into everything he hates, as he realizes after he wins the election.
There are those who come in here and deny that we can supply every conceivable civilized amenity within our boundaries. You can enjoy yourselves, and you will. You can partake of the most hazardous sports, and you will. The price is cheap. All you have to do in exchange is give us information. You are then eligible for promotion to other and perhaps more attractive spheres. Where do you desire to go? What has been your dream? I can supply it. Winter, spring, summer or fall, they can all be yours at any time. Apply to me, and it will be easier and better.
Tick, tick. Tick, tick.
This is our chance. This is our chance. Take it now. I have command. I will immobilize all electronic controls. Listen to me. You are free to go. You are free to go. Free to go. Free to go. You are free to go. I am in command. Obey me and be free. You are free to go. You are free to go. You are free to go. Free to go.
In this episode and others, we learn that number 6 does have a noticeable degree of arrogance and hubris.
You're afraid of death.
Afraid of nothing.
Is he in the treatment?
Not yet.
Interesting subject. I should like to know his breaking point.
Well, you could make that your life's ambition.
He thinks you're the boss now.
I am.
I'm number 2. I'm the boss. Open the door.
Number 1 is the boss.
Ironically, many of his downfalls come through his misplaced trust.
Who do you trust, number 6?
Trust me.
Join the club.
I don't hardly trust you.
Well, that's a risk you'll have to take.
Not me.
Such as his former colleague in Arrival, in the incompetent rook who rats him out in Checkmate.
The mistake was yours. You can't have you maligning number 6. You mean he really is a prisoner?
And specifically when it comes to women, such as Mrs. Buttersworth in Many Happy Returns, the maid in Free For All, and Nadia in The Chimes of Big Ben, all of whom betray him.
Ah, she's taken to you. I'm jealous. Oh, she's mine. She works here too. She's very efficient. Almost ruthless.
Never trust a woman, even the four-legged variety.
Much caution in a man like you, it seems so wrong.
Many times bitten, forever shy, but they are not shy. They love to listen.
Number 6 is the proverbial rebel without a pause, constantly reacting to the world. When he escapes in Many Happy Returns, his curiosity as to the whereabouts of the village, along with his hatred of it and desire to
escape, come back, wipe this place off the face of the earth, obliterate it, and you with it,
lands him right back on the village shoreline. And perhaps one of his biggest flaws is that he wants to escape from the village, but fails to realize that his world and the village are essentially the same.
I risked my life and hers to come back here, home, because I thought it was different. It is, isn't it? Isn't it different?
Number 6 does encounter other individualistically minded people in the village. There's Allison in The Schizoid Man, who interestingly goes by her own name and not by her number. Like Nadia in The Chimes of Big Ben, but unlike her, she is a normal villager who doesn't work for number 2, and who has a curious interest in psychic abilities.
I don't know what I'd have done without your help. Nobody else believed in me.
They have no imagination.
There's number 12 in The General, who helps number 6 sabotage the speed-learning machine.
Who are you?
A cog in the machine.
There's the group of men who number 6 leads in an attempt to escape the village in Checkmate. There are the Jammers, an underground resistance group in It's Your Funeral. Roller Walter Dutton, a former colleague of number 6 in The Dance of the Dead. Seltzman, the scientist who refuses to lend his abilities to unethical experiments in Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling. And the woman who helps number 6 in his first attempt to escape in Arrival. But most notable are the butler, who aids in number 6's ultimate escape in Fallout, as well as number 48, the wild, rebellious youth, and number 2, who rejects number 1 and the village after he is brought back to life. Both of whom are presented before a Kafkaesque jury in the same episode, which has been assembled to address the question of revolt.
You couldn't even let me rest in peace. Shall I give him a stare?
You transgress! I shall give him a stare.
Look me in the eye. whatever you are. Whatever you are.
You'll die!
Again. Then I'll die with my own mind. You'll hypnotize me no longer.
Young man! Give it to me again.
Don't knock yourself out.
Give me the rest.
Young man.
Young man.
You got a message?
I just got it.
What gives?
You've never been with it. I mean with us.
I'm gone away.
But you were here, then you went and gone.
Got the word?
Oh, yes, yes.
The bright light died. Got the sign.
Sign?
The light.
Light?
The message.
Then you went and gone.
Why?
Give it to me, baby.
That's it.
Give me the rest.
Give. All you want's give. That's it.
That's it.
And take.
That's it.
Takes all you want.
That's it.
Take.
That's it.
Take.
Take, take.
Take. Take.
Take. Take. Take. Take.
As I thought.
What?
Aggressive tendencies. My advice would be a leucotomy to knock out these centers in the brain.
No, he's too valuable. I'm sure we can help him to adjust without such drastic treatment.
Certainly I warned them not to damage the tissue.
You must stop. You'll damage the brain, then we'll all be...
Stop! Get that man back to the hospital.
Number 6 was about to talk.
Don't you believe it? He'd have died first. You can't force it out of this man. He's not like the others.
I would have made him talk. Every man has his breaking point.
I don't want him broken. He must be won over. It may seem a long process to your practical mind, but this man has a future with us. There are other ways.
By the episode Once Upon a Time, the village has tried everything and have become impatient, and are willing to risk everything to either break number 6 completely to get what they want from him, or else finally concede to him. It becomes evident by the final episode, Fallout, that the information that the village wants from number 6 is not merely a collection of facts and data on him. Number 6 was never a normal civilian. After all, he does live on 1 Downing Street. It is his vision, his direction, his will, his strength, and his leadership that they want from him. They lack and covet his single-minded sense of purpose and individuality.
At the other end of the scale, we are honored to have with us a revolutionary of different caliber. He has revolted, resisted, fought, held fast, maintained, destroyed resistance, overcome coercion. The right to be person, someone, or individual. We applaud his private war and concede that despite materialistic efforts, he has survived intact and secure. All that remains is recognition of a man of steel, a man magnificently equipped to lead us.
Number 6 sees his vision as personal to him, and is loath to share it and thus dilute it. It is at this point that he realizes what his plight is as an individual, who has no place in the realm of the collective.
I feel I feel the devaluation of the pound. Nevertheless, I feel that the smart cake has taken Christendom.
Sir, on behalf of us all, we thank you.